Plaintiff Rachel Walker is suing her former stepsister, Beatrice Wright, for the cost of a car. Rachel says she's worried about Beatrice, who she believes is in an abusive relationship. However, Beatrice insists that she and her boyfriend have both been physically abusive with each other, and Beatrice says the car was barely running and unsafe when Rachel sold it to her.
All right, Rachel Walker is suing Beatrice Wright for the cost of a car. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're Rachel, and your name, please?
Tammy.
Okay, good. All right, Rachel, why are you suing your stepsister?
Okay, first, Judge, I would like to acknowledge that I know that you're a victim's rights advocate for domestic violence. Beatrice, I feel that she needs some advice in her situation. She's in an abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and he's controlling her, and I feel that that's interfering with our relationship.
Why do you say that, Rachel?
Because she's told me on certain occasions that he controls what she wears, and she's not allowed to wear anything tight. She basically wears t-shirts and jeans all the time. And he's also keeping her from her oldest daughter seeing her father.
He's keeping her oldest daughter from seeing...
That's not true, Your Honor.
How old are you, Beatrice?
I'm 26 years old.
And how old is your daughter?
She's 7.
She's 7. And the person that Rachel is talking about is whom? Your boyfriend?
Yes.
Is he the father of your child?
He's the father of my son.
Of your son. Is that your youngest?
Yes.
Okay, how old is your son?
4.
4, okay. What Rachel is saying is not true?
No, that's not true. No.
Why would she say it?
Well, the reason why she's probably saying it is because I haven't took my daughter around the original father. And the reasons for that is I didn't want to get my daughter confused.
How do you confuse your daughter by connecting her with her father?
He has not been around, Your Honor. Cody has been around ever since I was pregnant. The father that was originally with my daughter, he was not around. He didn't come up to the hospital to see her.
Let me ask you this. What is your daughter's name?
Alize?
Does Alize's father know where she is?
Yes, we both live in the same town. I mean, why should I be the one to call him and say, hey, come see your daughter? If he doesn't want to have nothing to do with it.
Has Cody ever pushed you around?
No. I mean, we've had our arguments. We've had our times where it's just relationships. You know, relationships have problems. So.
Well, relationships have problems, but not when it involves people touching other people.
Well,
you don't push anyone around. Has he ever pushed you around?
Not as much as I have.
You shift your eyes every time I ask that question.
Not as much as I have. I mean, we've both
So you're going to blame
fought.
Yourself?
We've both fought. I mean, it's...
So you've both been physical, is that what you're telling me?
We have been, yes. In the past, but not anymore.
Go ahead.
We've grown up.
Your Honor, I'd like to say on numerous occasions, we have both seen her daughter's father, and he has gave us contact information for him. And Rachel herself has gave Beatrice numbers to contact him, and she always says she's going to do it, and she never does.
But the truth is, Cammie, that if Alize's father wanted to see her, he doesn't need you to intervene.
Yeah.
He goes to a court, he files a petition. It doesn't cost any money, and he gets to see his daughter.
Right.
And if Cody is indeed the person that you're suggesting that he is, Alize's father can make sure he's nowhere near Alize if the truth is he's a pushy, abusive man. So it's now up to Alize's father to take the bull by the horn. I've heard enough. I get what you're saying.
Plaintiff Rachel Walker is suing her former stepsister for the cost of a car. Rachel says she's worried about the defendant, who she believes is being abused by her boyfriend.
All right, now, why are you here today, Rachel?
The car that she had wasn't her car. It was in her boyfriend's name. And
Cody.
Right. At that point, I was struggling with 2 car payments, and I was selling a car I just had recently listed it on Craigslist. And so I told her that I haven't sold it yet. If she needed a vehicle, that if she was interested, that she could buy my vehicle. And
what vehicle is that, Rachel?
It's a 1999 Chrysler Concorde.
All right, this 1999 Chrysler, did you agree to buy it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what was the price?
Our first verbal agreement was for $2,000.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are the terms of payment?
Okay, she said that she would pay me $100 for 3 weeks. Each week. The first week rolled around, she gave me the payment, and when I talked to her, she said something about that the car had broke down, and I acknowledged, okay. I said, you know, if you change your mind and you want to bring the car back, that's fine. You can go ahead and bring it back. She said, no, you know, that's fine. I'll just take the car and take it to the shop.
I do have a promissory note.
All right, let's see the agreement. Thank you. Beatrice Wright is giving Rachel Walker $150, $100 toward the car, $50 towards insurance. Second payment of $150 August 1st, 2008, same as first payment for 1999 Chrysler Concorde. Remaining balance owed $2,300.
She had upped the price, Your Honor.
She upped the price?
Yes.
I thought it was $2,000.
Okay, when I was trying to contact her because the first week she made the payment. The second week she called me and told me that she only had half. So she ended up giving me
only half of what?
That was fine, of the $100 payment for the. She was supposed to give me $100 for 3 weeks, is what our verbal agreement was.
And then what?
Okay, so the second week she said she only had half. I said, that's fine, just give it to me whenever you have it.
So she gave you 50.
Right. The third week came around and I didn't even hear from her for like 2 weeks. She never even spoke to me about the payment or anything. And then about 3 weeks later, I was trying to contact her to find out, why she still hadn't gave me the remainder balance that she owed me from the $300. And I didn't get any phone calls returned from her. She did call me and leave me a voicemail, but when I tried to call back, she never answered. So I thought that I would show up to her house. When I showed up to her house, I noticed that the car was damaged.
Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
Cody and I, my boyfriend, we walked out to the bar. We didn't want to drink and drive with the car. So we walked down to the bar. I was coming home from the bar and I heard some girl yelling and screaming. I thought, well, somebody's having a bad night. Well, I get up there and she was throwing items at that car.
Why?
At the time. I have no idea. I went to go up there and find out what the heck was going on because I have no idea who the girl was. She had hopped in a car with some friends, took off, and the cop down the street came and he started following them, but I don't know if he ever ended up arresting them or...
But you had damage to the car. Why wouldn't you follow up with the police?
Because I thought the police were going to arrest them.
Well, let's assume the police arrested them. If they damage the car, you're entitled to money.
Well, I didn't have the car in my name, Your Honor. So I admit to the damages. I offered to pay for the damages, Your Honor. I felt that I was obligated to pay her, and I even offered her to pay them. I'm
having trouble believing this, but anyway, go ahead.
Okay, here's the estimates for the damages right here.
Jimmy, thank you.
Yes, I do agree that she did offer to pay for the damages, but she went under her own belt and said that she was going to fix it herself. So she ended up fixing it on her own, but I told her that I wasn't going to take the car back unless the car was in the same condition that it was when I gave it to her. So when I went to pick up the car, I would say it was probably about 50% better, but it was still damaged. They tried
so
to
you're
repair
saying
it
that she
themselves.
repaired some of the damage
and the paint
on her own?
Yes, and the paint wasn't even the same color that it was supposed to be.
Show me. So you repaired the damage on your own?
I tried fixing it up the best I could.
How'd you do it?
A dent popper.
A dent popper?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the car. It's dented right there. Is this before or after the repair?
That's after the repair.
After the repair, Your Honor.
Your dent popper doesn't work very well.
No, I didn't. I
What
agree.
is this?
And that, Your Honor, looks like there was a big dent there. She got that out, but it actually looked like somebody threw a brick at it.
How did this happen?
I have no idea.
So, this you used a dent popper on, and this you painted?
Yes.
Don't go into body repair. All right, so, where's the car now?
Rachel has it.
It's in my possession. It's actually at the body shop because when I picked up the car, it wasn't even in running condition. She had the vehicle in her possession for 2 months, and she's claiming that the vehicle was unreliable and that I sold her a piece of crap car. But she had it in her possession for 2 months and put 2,000 miles on the vehicle during that time.
All right, when you drove the car, or when you had the car, did it run?
No, I had problems with it, and actually I took it to Holman's Garage to get a diagnostic test on it. Mm-hmm. I have 2 kids, Your Honor, and during the time I was driving it, I was breaking down periodically, and I called Rachel, I said, hey, have you had any problems with this car? And she said yes. She's like, when the motor would get hot, the car would shut down. If you wait for a little bit in the car, she's like, the car would start up. So I was furious with it, knowing that she would sell me a piece of crap car with having kids. But I got to take them to school. I got to take them doctor's appointments. Not only to mention that, when I was on a highway and I'm going 55, the car would shut down without giving you a warning. You'd have to pull off on the side of the road far enough to get off the side before the car actually loses all power and hope that you don't get rear-ended. So the car was totally unsafe.
Yeah, and I wasn't having those kind of conditions with the car when I had the car in my possession.
I have a statement here stating that I took the car for Holman's Garage to have a diagnostic test, and it says on here that the car broke down several times. It left me stranded. What was the reasons why?
Sure.
You're welcome.
The above vehicle was at Holman's Garage for 3 days before being picked up by Beatrice Wright. The vehicle was not diagnosed at that time due to the vehicle being picked up. Well, why didn't you let him diagnose it?
Because I couldn't wait very long without having a car. I was walking the kids to school. I had to work.
If the car isn't running and you're saying it was a risk for her to sell you that car because you have 2 kids, you then go and take the car back because the kids need a ride?
Well, I took them only in town. I didn't take them out of town, Your Honor.
She told us that the reason why she did not get the diagnostic test done was because they told her they had to wait for the car to break down.
It's kind of like picking a needle out of a haystack, they said, so they had to wait until it broke down before they could hook it up with computers.
That's ridiculous. It's like a patient going to the doctor and saying, doctor, there's something wrong with me. And the doctor's saying, I can't diagnose you until you die, and then the autopsy will figure it out.
That's what they told me, Your Honor.
Okay. What are we suing for?
$3,000 was I was originally trying to
$3,000 for a car that you sold her for $2,000, that you divvied up to $2,300 that you now have.
Right.
How do you sue for more than what you sold it for when you have the car?
$3,000 was the original amount that I was asking for the vehicle when I was selling it on Craigslist. I only sold it to her because I thought she was going to be responsible and be reliable, and because she was my, family to me.
How much do you think you owe her?
Just for the damages, Your Honor. Just for the dents in the car that I was reliable for.
But you did drive the car for a while.
Just for a little while, yeah.
How long?
It was probably about a couple months, I'd say.
Couple months?
Yes.
All right. You're supposed to pay her $100 a week?
It was around $100, $150. I paid her $100 towards the car payment and $50 towards the insurance.
Okay. What you've got is a car that apparently had some problems. I'm not convinced that she caused the problems to the car. I'm not convinced that mechanically she did anything to create any real problem. I'm also not so sure that someone who takes a car for a diagnostic analysis and then takes it out because they need it to drive their kids is so afraid that the car is seriously impaired. However, as far as this court is concerned, the damage to the car while you had it was $1,542. That I'm going to award to the plaintiff. The plaintiff is entitled to that money. On the other hand, you did have the car for 2 months. You have paid a grand total of $300. Is that what we're saying?
Correct.
$300. She had it for 8 weeks. I'm going to add $500 to $1,542. And that to make up for the additional 5 weeks, verdict for the plaintiff. Take care of yourself.